Employee Economy is a research piece which explores how companies today are addressing the single most important universal business imperative for acquisition, retention and engagement of employees, the talent required to realise future business success. Well, employer branding is a discipline I'm really passionate about. In the early 2000s, I was working at Proximity London, a direct marketing agency, and I was developing employer branding campaigns for my clients. And now running an executive search agency, we partner with our clients to search and select the very best talent for their specific needs. So in doing so, we're actually representing their employer brand in the market. And this is a responsibility we take really seriously. You know, as consultants, it's really important that we are well versed to be able to add value to our clients' business and really be part of the discussion. So this research is an ideal way to co-create and share knowledge. And was it planned? No, it started with a few conversations and it grew into this. We wanted to really get a good spectrum of companies, so we wanted to look at companies that represented the different sectors. So we spoke to Heineken, Kimberly-Clark, Microsoft, ING, ABN AMRO, DSM, Elsevier, Tata Consultancy Services, Edelman, and also agencies such as Maximum and platforms like Dynamic Signal. Well, actually, in an organisation, your employer brand already exists. So it's whether a company wants to harness and help define it with its employees. So, I think it's really important to invest in research and dialogue. This is critical. The employer brand needs to be an honest reflection. There's room for ambition and change, but it really can't be too far removed from, your actual employee value proposition, what your employees actually experience. It's not a top-down or a bottom-up. It really needs to be both. So invest in learning what both parts of your organisations think that your employer brand actually is, and what your employer value proposition should be. There's a holy trinity in branding now. You've got your corporate, your marketing and your employer brand all drive reputation and profitability. So it's important that you align these. So, to align them, you create greater impact and ubiquity. Also, look at what your company's longer term business strategy is. Is your employer brand and your people strategies in sync? Plan your people strategies carefully. It's getting both the culture and your workforce composition right that will enable companies to be successful in the future. We've moved from a harder, more extreme form of capitalism and consumerism to an age of purpose. It's not just the biggest and most successful, it's the most innovative and the most sustainable, for most human companies which are attractive to millennials. And actually, for me, I think, some values transcend generations, so it's more about personal values aligning. And I think purpose positioning really shows this. I, for one, think it's fantastic. I think it's another push which help companies actually become more sustainable, and that's only a good thing. If I can answer this in what I was most happily surprised by, if that's okay. We have a privilege to see into so many different organisations, and what we find is that a key issue is cross-functional collaboration. And when we were doing the research, we saw that employer branding is really driving collaboration cross-functionally, up and down and throughout the organisation. And it's become a focal point to bring the whole organisation together, to promote a common interest and an initiative to really instill pride. So I think that's really fantastic. And it's great to see how different functions and different disciplines are merging and the impact this can have on career trajectories. If you think about it now, companies are moving people from marketing into HR, from HR into marketing and vice versa. And I think this is a really great way to develop talent and, and keep great talent in your organisation rather than lose them to another company. As a functional head, I think there's a few areas of responsibility. Firstly, creating the environment for cross-functional collaboration. Secondly, driving alignment across all the different brand articulations. And thirdly, and most importantly, helping the organisation to create a culture that promotes dialogue and employee engagement, that really brings the employee value proposition and culture alive for its employees. And finally, as a leader, bring that employee value proposition alive for your team. Make it real and tangible on a personal level. Be the leader that people want to work for and a champion of your company's employer brand reputation.